Hi everyone, Tony here with Alex at our cup of tea.
Yeah, really nice to see you.
And we're going to just chat a little bit about the summer and a little bit about what's coming up in the autumn. Thank you for everyone who watched the first video like this. We're very pleased to see that you've watched it. We just come in from outside and you might actually hear above us the
Car
rain.
park at the Walnuts.
It is pouring with rain in Orpington today. Recording the Together 25 promo video, so you get to see that. But we're really excited about that. Lots of plans to tell you, but not today.
Yeah.
So over the summer though, we've had a massively busy summer.
Yeah.
A major thank you to everyone involved into going to New Day. Over 100 young people and servers went there. So many good stories coming out of that.
Yeah.
I was just blessed to come back, and wherever I am talking to people, I'm hearing New Day, I'm hearing New Day. We have baptisms coming up, we have first time salvations, first time commitments, not first time salvations, and just a buzz about it. So if you served and helped that make happen, or if one of your young people went there, can I just say, we think this is one of the best New Days, so massive thank you for that.
Yeah, and it's just so great to hear people getting saved, not just at New Day, but actually just across the church over the summer. So we ran the Mission Week just before the summer, which Julian spearheaded, but just great to see about 60 people go out on the streets, have loads of conversations with people, pray, give out Why Jesus booklets, talk about how they can come to know Jesus. We saw several people actually come to faith over that week.
Amazing.
But actually, one of the reasons we wanted to do that is just so that as a church together, we start to increasingly push into this empowered witnesses idea. And even since then, it's just been incredible. We saw 8 people make a first-time commitment at Downham several weeks ago. Just a few weeks ago, we saw 2 people come to know Jesus at Hayes on a Sunday. Yeah. So God is really stirring us. I think that's what I feel challenged by, is that actually we're starting to step into this idea of actually taking the gospel to our community, city, area, borough.
What I'm loving about it is this sense which we've been praying for and hoping for, which is that it stops being an event or an activity, it just becomes a lifestyle. And as we grow in confidence, this sense of course I can share my faith, and a number of those salvations that we've seen or people that started coming to us regularly are because of friends invited them. A lovely story of one of our church members who was talking to their barbers, and they had one person in mind. They weren't available when they went in for their latest haircut. Someone else was there, they spoke to them, invited them to church, they made a first time commitment. Just God is so good. So massive thank you. We've got more plans of that over the autumn and really into next year. It's a real value that we believe to be empowered witnesses. So you'll see that throwing for our teaching series. But obviously, while that was happening,
you were
I
in
was
Ukraine.
in Ukraine.
With a little team.
Yeah, with Gary and Andrew Cavosso, Colin and Helen Potter and me and Tina. And I have to say, I could talk for hours about that, but an amazing privilege to actually fly into Poland and then get a coach and drive into Ukraine. We spent some time in Lviv with Olga and Sasha, who manage the house where all the food we buy ends up there. So we went and bought loads of food with them, and obviously Vola and Oksana, because there's 2 Volas, who's we know as the dancing evangelist. We've spent time with them, and even this week, when the latest bombings, to your heart moves because we received messages of them having to spend an hour on the floor while bombs are going around. So this is really real, church, and so thank you for your continued prayers and your gifts. And your willingness to go as well. So the second half of the trip we went to Overarch, which is right on the top end of Ukraine, and spent some time with Vola and Tatiana, his wife, who are going to help lead the churches in Ukraine. And I want us to start praying for Colin and Helen Potter as they go back and spend time encouraging them, being part of and really building the church there. So we've, as a church, have been asked to take a real lead on behalf of Regions Beyond, but also the New Frontiers family, supporting them. So we'll be telling more about that and more ways to pray with them.
That's really lovely to, as Regions Beyond, to be partnering with other parts of the New Frontiers family. It's a real privilege.
You just realise how big what God is doing around the globe.
But
But let's talk about us. And what's
Yeah, so
happening
we've got
this
loads
term.
of stuff coming up. So we're just about to have our next Hope Together service at Bromley High, and we're really looking forward to that time being together as our congregations. We see those 3 or 4 times a year as just central, significant times for who we are as a church.
22nd of September,
Yeah.
and you're preaching this time, not me.
Yes, that's a really nice privilege. And we're starting a new series called Follow Me. And I guess just touching on Ukraine, and they're living through all of this stuff that we can't even really imagine. But it's just stirring something in us about a kind of wartime mindset of what God is calling us into. And just throughout the Gospels, but we're going to be looking in Matthew, Jesus says this phrase, follow me, again and again and again. Follow me into death, take up your cross and follow me, leave your mother and father and follow me. And so we just want to start taking that, grappling with that, unpacking that, but taking that really seriously as we're kind of entering into a new season of what it looks like to be empowered witnesses, but also growing in our relationship with Jesus, with each other, becoming more like him. We're not just interested in converts, we actually want to grow in being more and more like him, both for us as a church, but also all the people we want to see come to know Jesus. So we're really excited to do that over this term. It's going to be a great series. We're going to have a reading plan through the Gospel of Matthew. And so we'd love us to engage with that together as a church over a couple of months and allow that to stir something in us.
What I loved about that, we were with the preachers in the week, yourself, Joy and Pete were taking us through the series. And although you just said those headlines of take up your cross, die for Jesus, there was no heaviness about it. You see, following Jesus is light. It's spending time with him, it's being changed by him. And so I really love that. I really feel that's going to engage us. Another thing that we were seeing real growth in some of the church this year will be the beginning of Launch Academy.
Yeah.
So that kicks off this weekend.
Yeah, that might have already happened by the time you've watched this.
Yeah, sorry, as we speak.
Yeah, but we're including Tony and me and Lucy and I think Tina as well. There's 40 of us doing that, so that's across all of our congregations. And we really think, I'm just so excited about that because I think God is going to stir something in that group, something's going to emerge from that group. And we're just going to kind of carry something before God together and see what God does. So that's going to be over 16 months to the end of 2025. And we're going to run other things like this in the future. So if you think, I'd love to be a part of something like that, there's going to be other opportunities. But we are really excited to see what God brings out of that group.
Yeah, just spending time with one another in small settings as well as training days, building, encouraging, and saying, what more does God have for you? But as we've done that, we recognise not everybody can come. That's often the case, people want to come, but it's a time commitment. But there'll be times when we're doing training days.
Yeah, so
we've got some good speakers coming.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is just create space to engage with other people, other gifts that can really help us, that group, and as a wider church, and even into regions beyond in this area. And so we've invited several people. We've got Andy McCulloch, who's a guy who's spent 10 years in Turkey planting churches, but now based in Reading. He's going to spend a day with us in January. We've got Fuzi McQuenna, who's on our global team, going to be with us in May for our Hope Together service, as well as a big training day. And we've got Steph Liston from Revelation Church in North London. He's going to come and do a day on gender and sexuality. And so we've got these days, and we're going to open that up. So there's going to be a small cost, it'll cover lunch, it's going to be a whole day, but we just want to get as many people there to engage with some of these people and these subjects together so we can grapple with some of this stuff.
Wow, we could talk a lot about this. I feel the clock going on us. So we obviously, on the 22nd of September, we'll be sharing some stuff that's also been happening across the church. As we speak, we signed off on the annual accounts. Can I say last year, thank you for your generous giving. The accounts are slightly peculiar because they show a massive deficit of about 150,000, but that was because we were putting aside 140,000 or thereabouts towards the works at St Luke's, which is happening now.
Now starting. So we provided for the money last year, but spending it this year, and we've got scaffold going up around the spire. Scott Wellard is working on the site for us, leading on that, doing such a great job. Dave Jackson as well, really, supporting. And yes, that's going to be happening throughout the whole of this term. And we do want to invest not just in our partnership with the Anglicans, but in that community, in that congregation. We're really believing for not just building work, but God to do something structural in the church to really, to be real fruit coming from there. So we're excited about investing in that.
So thank you, Bromley Common
Thank you so much, guys,
for the inconvenience it finds around you as your whole building gets enveloped in scaffolding and works. At the same time, we want to give you an update around Downham. You'll be aware that building's been put up for sale by London City Mission, but I hope that when we come together to share some news, I've been invited to a meeting with some of the leaders of London City Mission as we speak next Monday the 9th. And so, yeah, we are believing that across all our sites, God is opening doors for us. So it's really important as we gather together, we come not just to fellowship and worship, but also to hear what God's called us to.
Yeah.
And the last thing we want to really finish on, well, God's also called us to the nations. So earlier this year, we gave to our own church, and thank you for that generous giving.
It was amazing.
This year's budget, just to let you know, we'll give an update in the September meeting. We knew this year was again going to be a deficit budget year. In terms of giving, though, we met our giving increase goals very early in the year. But the church is continuing to grow. So again, as people join us, we're asking you to continue to pray about finance of the church, tithing to the church. And so as we sit here, we're hoping that deficit will be less than we anticipated. But the latter part of the year, we turn our eyes again to the nations. And it's so important as we give away, God somehow, supernaturally, seems to love that generosity and provide back. So we are as committed to our autumn offering to the nations as we are to our internal. And so we're going to ask you to pray about that, and I think we're going to hear from Fuzi in a minute.
Yeah, so we're going to hear from Fuzi now. He's going to share with us what's going on in the nations, and we're going to talk to you more about the offering as it builds up. But this is a key part of who we are as a church, sowing into the nations, and we believe that God even blesses us as we do that, as we carry something of our movement. So yeah, we're going to hear from Fuzi. Great to see you all.
Hi Regions Beyond family, my name is Fuzi and I'm married to Emily, and together we have two boys, Dylan and Caden. We are based here in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. I lead City Gates Church here. I want to bring greetings, but I also want to take you on a journey. Do you know how in Colossians 1, Paul talks about how the gospel is bearing fruit around the world? And then he says to the Colossians, a church that he's never seen or visited, just as it is among you. I do believe that the gospel is bearing fruit among you, I hope, but I also want to show you, as I take you on a journey, how the gospel is bearing fruit in the nations through our family of churches of Regions Beyond. God has been amazing in how He's been speaking to individuals and couples about going from their own nation to go and see that the kingdom of God advances in other nations. So J.W. Ermalinda, who have been leading Hope Church in Utrecht for a number of years, have felt the call of God to uproot and go to Penang Island in Malaysia. I'm really excited because their intention and their heart is to see a Regions Beyond church planted over there. The other couple, Levi and Bethany, who are based in the United States, they feel the call of God to move from the US to go and be based in the northern city of China, where they will be joining a church there that is part of our family of churches, Regions Beyond. Also, Isaac and Komal. Isaac has been based here in Dubai, and he married Komal, who is from India. So now they feel the call of God to go and support the work in the Philippines. I also want to mention Matt and Abby. They want to move and be based in the Philippines, where they're going to join Kim and Smile over there. We also know that God has spoken to Kim and Smile about eventually moving from the Philippines to go to Taiwan, where they will be planting a church. Couples moving from place to place all over to go and see that the kingdom of God advances around the world. Do pray for these couples. Take some time and really give yourself to prayer as they go. We are seeing an amazing fruitfulness in the area of church planting in Regions Beyond. David and Agnes, who have been based in South Africa for a while, will now be moving to be based in Malawi, where they will be planting Lakeland Church in Malawi. Cameron and Lorraine, who have been based in the United States, will be moving to Cape Town to plant a Regions Beyond Church in Cape Town. Also, JW and Melinda planting in Penang. But also God has been opening up new nations for us. One of the nations is the nation of Uganda. We sent a team from here in Dubai to go to Uganda on a mission. And as I speak to you now, we have a Regions Beyond Church in Uganda. This is a new nation. In a month's time, I will be going to South Korea. We have already a small group of people who are gathering in Jeju Island in South Korea. I know that there's so many churches that are planted around the world, and I'm missing some, so do bear with me. But I want to just give you a taste of what God is doing through Regions Beyond in the nations. I've been told by George Dada, who's doing a great work in Liberia, that they are now beginning to reach the Gola tribe of Liberia and Sierra Leone. Apparently, I'm told they don't allow Christians to come or any other religion to come and minister to them. However, it seems as though there is a door that's opening up for us. Let's move across to Nepal, where we have two tribes there, the Taru tribe as well as the Musa'ab tribe, which BJ and the team are reaching. Let's move now to the Philippines, the Aitas tribe of Sambalas. There's a feeding program there by Jerry Ofanda, who leads our Regions Beyond Church in Sambalas. And I'm told that they're beginning to make inroads among the tribe of the Aitas. Also, across to Palawan, which is an island of the Philippines, Ray and Ruby Sarana moved there to be planting a church there. And they are doing an amazing work in the city of Puerto Princesa. However, there are two tribes that they're looking to reach. The first one is the Bajau tribe, and the second one is the Takbanuan tribe. As you can see, God is doing something amazing, that not only is the gospel advancing, not only are we seeing churches planted, not only are we seeing couples move country, but we're also interested in ensuring that the gospel reaches the regions beyond, that is the unreached people groups of the world, that one day every tribe, every tongue, every nation will come before the throne of God and worship Jesus with all of us. So let's really be encouraged by what God is doing around the world, brothers and sisters who are laboring hard for the gospel. So your prayers will really be appreciated. God bless you, and I hope this has been encouraging to you.
We're going to try and do this again in a couple of months. Then we'll be wearing our Christmas hats, I imagine, and talking about the late autumn part.
Nice.
In the meantime, we love you, we're proud of you, and really enjoying our time together.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bless you.